Welcome to e-learning review over the top lesson 4, top 20 star power. What are thought circles? How do they affect your success? Self-defeating thinking habits that plague us. They get bigger and bigger with each negative thought. We freak ourselves out with our own negative thought circles and sabotage our credibility with guests. It affects our success by ruining our chance of getting them to come back. What is the difference between a good eye and a bad eye? Whatever we say after I is what we become. It is the most important letter of the alphabet. Bad eyes are identified by a negative statement, such as the angry bad eye, the depressed bad eye, and the worried bad eye. Good eyes, on the other hand, describe our true self and empower us to have a good life. The sooner we stop believing in the lies of the bad eye and start believing in and acknowledging our good eye, the more empowered we become to change for the better and have a greater life. What does the process of NCT represent? Naming. Seeing your own negative thinking and realizing it gets in the way of your success. Claiming. Accepting responsibility for our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without blaming. And taming. Taking the actions to break out of our BS. We can use this remarkable process to break out of living in bottom 80 and move to top 20. While each part has its own unique purpose, when all three parts are working as one, they become an amazing force of positive change. What is top 20 star power? It is at the center of the power wheel. The more positive our energy, the more money our guests are willing to spend. It's made up of positive thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and feelings we have about ourselves. Our emotional energy is always either making or costing us a lot of money. We become more of our top 20 self when we learn how to turn on, turn up, and turn loose the positive energy of our star power. How do tornadoes get formed? And how do you escape them? They are formed when someone is in the midst of a BS thought circle. They tend to influence others around them negatively. Others get drawn into the negative thought circle, and it dominates the entire group. Naming, claiming, and taming tornadoes helps us break the BS habit of being involved in a tornado. You need to learn how to spot those tornadoes, claim the ones that you've taken, and use the stop not now taming technique to stop these tornadoes. Instead, listen without agreeing or judging, leave the scene, and limit your time with other tornado starters. Use your top 20 star power to have better relationships for a more successful career. How do you learn to live in top 20 and only visit bottom 80? Why should you do this? Develop the awareness and skill to live in top 20 even when conditions aren't favorable. Our thinking must be clear and positive versus mostly gloomy and negative. Living in top 20 helps us tap into the positive energy of our star power. Being over or under the line isn't a good or bad thing, it's a human thing, but there's a big difference between living in top self and visiting bottom self, as opposed to living in BS and visiting TS. How does the frame explain top 20 and bottom 80 thinking? When we're over the line in top 20, we see ourselves as intelligent and creative. We feel greater self-esteem. We do things to take better care of ourselves. Therefore, we get a life of personal fulfillment. When we are under the line in bottom 80, we see ourselves as being not as good as other people. We feel overwhelmed, and we do things that sabotage ourselves. What we end up with is a life of personal drama. All of us fluctuate between being over and under the line. It's perfectly normal to have highs and lows. If we want to bring out more of our top self and our star power qualities, we must become skillful at recognizing and overcoming our red bottom 80 thinking. What are some common triggers? What are some common indicators? Triggers. Some examples: being called stupid, being laughed at, running behind, slow days at the salon. Can you think of more? These triggers are situations or persons that activate negative thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Some indicators are anger, frustration, complaining, criticizing. Can you think of more? Indicators are feelings or reactions that tell us we have dropped into BS. List your top 10 star qualities. Are you pleased with what you have learned in Lesson 4? Why or why not? Thank you for joining us for e-learning review of Over the Top Lesson 4, Top 20 Star Power.